Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Watch Collector, where we explore the world of fine watches. And if you're into watches, craftsmanship, and you want to know the story behind your watches, you're at the right place. My name is Raghav, and today we're going to have a look at the Omega and Swatch Moon Swatch Mission to Earth phase. But before we get into the video, let's do a quick wrist check. Today, I'm wearing my Omega and Swatch Moon Swatch Mission to Saturn, which is a fun and bold piece. And if you haven't watched this video yet, I'll attach the link in the description below and on your screens as well. So without any further delay, let's start the unboxing. So here we have the box. The packaging follows the familiar Moon Swatch language, clean, minimal, and space inspired. You have the Mission to Earth phase branding on the top, and on the sides, it has the Omega and Swatch branding. The box is made from a matte bio-sourced material, which immediately feels different from traditional glossy luxury boxes. It's lightweight, slightly textured, and has a very tactile, almost a very soft touch feel to it. You don't get that heavy premium luxury weight here, but instead, you get something that feels intentional and contemporary. The light tone of the box mirrors the lunar theme of the watch. It's not pure white, it leans toward a slightly muted, off-white or greyish tone, which gives it a more refined and less clinical look. Now this is where the packaging gets really interesting. As you remove the outer sleeve, you are immediately greeted with an image of the Earth. This is a very intentional design choice. The Omega Swatch Mission to Earth phase is all about perspective, specifically how the Earth looks when viewed from the Moon. And that idea begins right here, even before we see the watch itself. The structure is clean and geometric, very minimal, very Swiss in its approach. As soon as you open the box, you have the Mission to Earth phase information booklet. Now this is something I really appreciate. At the first glance, it may seem like a standard insert, but once you start going through it, you will realize it's actually an extension of this watch's story. The booklet features beautiful printed images of the Moon and the Earth, and these aren't just decorative. They immediately reinforce the inspiration behind this piece. For the collectors, this is the kind of detail you hold on to, not because it's luxurious, but because it completes the story. It doesn't just tell you how the watch works, or what are the functions of the watch, but it also tells you why the watch exists. Next, we have the user manual. This is more sort of a practical guide. It walks you through the basic functions of the watch. Next, we have the guarantee information booklet and the certificate of guarantee. The Moon Swatch comes with a 24-month warranty from the date of purchase, covering material and manufacturing defects. During the warranty period, you can have any of the defects repaired free of charge. However, the warranty does not cover damages caused by unauthorized handling or alterations. Next, there is a really nice touch, a booklet showcasing the rest of the Moon Swatch collection. It gives you a look at the different missions, each inspired by the celestial bodies like planets and space themes. And honestly, once you go through this booklet, it does make you curious about the rest of the collection, and you start thinking, maybe this isn't just one watch, it could be the beginning of a new collection. And now, it's time for the main event, the watch itself, the Mission to Earth phase. Even before getting into the details, the first thing that stands out is how cohesive everything feels. The color, texture, the concept, it all comes together beautifully. There is something very subtle about it. Nothing loud or flashy, but immediately feels different. It's one of those watches that doesn't try to grab your attention instantly. But the more you look at it, the more details start to reveal themselves. And knowing the story behind it, the idea of seeing the Earth from the Moon, it makes this first look feel even more special. And now that it's out of the box, let's take a closer look at what makes this piece so unique. Starting with the case, this comes in at 42 mm in diameter, which is very much in line with the classic Speedmaster properties. The entire case, including the crown and pushers, is made from bioceramic. It has this very unique matte finish, slightly textured and soft to touch finish, and noticeably, it's lighter than steel. What I like is that it doesn't try to imitate metal, it embraces its own identity, which makes the watch feel modern and different. The lug-to-lug distance is 47.3 mm, and that's what really defines how it wears on the wrist. It sits nicely, compact enough for most wrist sizes, but still with enough presence to feel like a proper chronograph. The thickness is 13.75 mm, so it does have some height, but because of the material, it never feels heavy or top heavy. On top, you get a box-shaped bio-sourced crystal. It adds a subtle vintage character, especially when viewed from an angle, where you get a slight distortion of the dial, very reminiscent of older Speedmasters. There is also a small etched S in the center, which is a signature Swatch detail. The crown is clean, minimal, and easy to operate. It has a good grip, making time adjustment simple. The pushers are responsive with a crisp click, not mechanical in feel, but still satisfying and precise. The black Velcro strap is very much part of the watch's identity. Lightweight, breathable, and easy to adjust. It has the Swatch Speedmaster Mission to the Moon Swatch branding on it. It reinforces that astronaut tool watch aesthetic. It's not luxurious, but is extremely functional and comfortable for daily wear. On the case back, you will find one of the most meaningful details, an image of the moon along with the footprint of Neil Armstrong. It's a subtle tribute, but it connects the watch directly to the history of space exploration. Inside, this watch is powered by a quartz chronograph movement. It handles timekeeping, chronograph function, moon phase, and the earth phase complication. It's reliable, precise, and keeps the watch lightweight and easy to maintain. Now, the dial is where this watch really comes alive. It features a grainy grey texture, designed to mimic the surface of the moon. Under different lighting, this texture adds depth and gives the dial a slightly dynamic feel. It's never completely flat. The layout is clean, balanced, and very easy to read, despite the added complications. Speaking about the complications, the subdials are thoughtfully placed. 2 o'clock for the moon phase, 10 o'clock for the earth phase, with the chronograph functions integrated seamlessly. They are slightly recessed, which adds another layer or depth to the dial. The moon phase tracks the current phase of the moon as seen from the earth. It operates on a 29.5-day lunar cycle, which is the time it takes for the moon to go from a new moon to full moon and back again. Now this is where things get truly unique. The earth phase indicator. Instead of showing the moon from earth, this shows the earth as it would appear if you are standing on the moon. Just like the moon has phases, when viewed from the earth also goes through phases when viewed from the moon. Both cycles take about 29.5 days, but they move in opposite directions. So when we see a full moon in the sky, an observer on the moon would see a new earth. On this watch, the earth is rendered in color with impressive details, and the oceans are coated with UV reactive ink, which glow blue under ultraviolet light. It's subtle, but it adds a really unique, almost hidden layer to the watch. Now, one of my favorite details on this watch is how it comes alive in the dark. This watch uses grade A superluminova, which is a high-quality luminous material used across many modern watches. It absorbs light during the day and then glows in low light conditions. On this watch, the lume is applied to the hour markers, the hour and the minute hands, and the tip of the chronograph seconds hand. So even in complete darkness, the legibility is still very clear. But what really stands out is the moon phase. Unlike the rest of the watch, the moons are coated with white superluminova, so they glow differently compared to the green lume on the hands and the markers. The lume is more than enough for practical use, and visually, it's very well executed. It's not just about visibility, it's about the atmosphere. In the dark, it almost feels like you are looking at two different layers. The green glowing guiding you through time, and the white glow of the moon quietly reinforcing the space theme. And when you combine that with the earth phase, it creates this subtle illusion of looking into space, right from your wrist. Beyond the design and the complications, there's a story behind this watch, and that's what makes it even more special. The entire concept of the mission to Earth phase is inspired by a very unique perspective, the view of Earth as seen from the moon. During the Apollo missions, astronauts captured some of the most iconic images in human history. Images where for the first time we saw our own planet from a distance, a small blue sphere floating in the vastness of space. And that's exactly what this watch is about, changing perspective. We are used to looking at the moon from the Earth, but this watch flips that idea. It questions, what if you were standing on the moon, looking back at the Earth? And that moment changed how we see our planet forever. That's where the Earth phase complication comes in. It visually represents how Earth would appear from the moon, going through its own phases, just like the moon does for us. And there's something quite powerful about that, because it reminds you that perspective changes everything. What we see depends entirely on where we stand. And that's why this watch feels different. It's not just about telling time, it's about telling a story about space, perspective, and our connection to the Earth. And once you understand that, the dial, the Earth phase, the textures, they all start to make a lot more sense. This isn't just a watch you wear, it's a perspective you carry on your wrist. So, what do I really think about the Mission to Earth phase? I think this is one of the most interesting pieces to come out of the Moon Swatch collection. It's not trying to be a traditional luxury watch, and it's not trying to replace something like a classic Speedmaster from Omega. Instead, it does something very different. It takes a serious concept, space exploration, perspective, and the relationship between Earth and the Moon, and presents it in a way that's fun, accessible, and genuinely creative. Of course, it's not perfect, it's lightweight, it's quartz, and it does not have the same feel as a traditional mechanical watch. But I don't think that's the point here. What really makes this watch stand out is the Earth phase complication. It's unique, it's meaningful, and it actually makes you think. And when you combine that with the textured dial, the lume, and the overall design, you get a watch that feels more like an experience than just an accessory. This is for someone who enjoys watches, but also appreciates the story behind them. Someone who wants something different, something that sparks conversation. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about telling time, it's about seeing it from a different perspective. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. My name is Raghav, signing off from The Watch Collector. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep ticking.